This review contains spoilers. Episode 2 starts with Alma waking up in a hospital. She was for weeks in a coma. We then jump into her past when she was a kid, to the night when her father died. We jump back to the hospital and her family is there, and even her dead father. Alma gets the feeling to stuck in a loop, and her father wants her help so he can change what happened to him. And he doesn't let her go until she agrees. So let's jump into the review, shall we? Okay, so where do I start? Let us start with the end. Alma's father, Jacob, asks for her help so they can change what happened to him. Then everything is black and we hear her mother saying that she's awake, so everything was a dream, or something metaphysical, or both. In the Halloween flashback, we get more insight into the relationship between Alma and Becca. That Becca always wants what Alma has, which is pretty normal for siblings, I guess. But I think the socks mean more. I think Becca wants to have the socks because her mother cares about Alma and her socks, and she wants to have the approval and care of her mother. When they come back home, Becca still wants to have Alma's socks. Her mother suggests a compromise, which Alma doesn't like. I have the strong feeling that Alma had to do a lot of compromises, which could have given her the feeling of not getting loved as Becca got loved. Anyways, back to the socks. Jacob has the idea of paper socks, so he takes the papers he reads and makes for Becca one paper sock. She said that she can't go with them, and he tells her that she has to believe in it. I see here two things. Jacob was probably the person who brought fun and joy at home, while his wife Camilla was the one who brought order into chaos. But not just this. Then the socks Alma is wearing are lasting and may need only adjustments, while the paper socks is not even holding for a few steps. That could be symbolic because he dies and his influence is as short as the paper socks, but I would argue that his death still influences his kids. We have to go to the caring aspect, I think. The paper socks do not mean that Jacob doesn't love his kids, but that his caretaking doesn't bring the stability as it is with Camilla. I also think that it is interesting that Camilla kneels on the dirty concrete to fix it while Jacob sits in his chair when he does the paper socks and doesn't change at all his position. Alma wants to go back out to get more candy and Jacob goes with her. He speaks with her about the Wizard of Oz and that he doesn't understand that Dorothy could reject a life of excitement and adventure. He then asks her if she would go back to a normal life when she would have an opportunity like this. I think here are we not just in a flashback but also somewhere where Jacob tries to influence her daughter so he can get her help. Why do I think this? Because we saw with Sam when he visited Alma that she thought he was a nurse. It seems that either she is in a very bad state or what we see can be tricky. We also get a couple of warning signs, like when Jacob gets his call which leads to his death. While he is talking to the guy, Alma stands in front of an evil laughing skeleton with red eyes. That isn't a coincidence. He leaves her, says to her that she shall stay right here, and she replies with, "Not again." This nod again makes me think about the paper socks, just saying. And it shows us that this isn't the first time things like this happen. She wakes up again and not even really awake, her mother throws at her how terrible it would have been for her if she died. Remember, she's still in a coma, so I'm thinking that her mother and her sister are her conscience when it comes to them. Her mother then blames her for not thinking about them and what impact she has on the decisions she makes. Alma enters in a sarcastic tone, which she does with her sister as well when she tells her about the physical therapy, as well as she talks with Alma about her wedding. When she notices that she's in a loop, she talks the first time directly with Jacob. She asks what is happening, and he explains that it could be that she is between life and death, and through this can communicate with him, or this is all just a fever dream, morphine trip, head trauma type of thing. I like this because both are very vague. Okay, the first is vaguer, but he then says immediately that he needs her help and, more importantly, that he can't let her go until she agrees to help him. And he seems to be in control of what is happening. She doesn't understand this and everything starts again, but is a bit different. Alma talks with Becca in the hospital cactus garden. They start to fight about who is more an attention seeker. I'm pretty sure that there is a meaning for why they talk in a cactus garden, but I have no clue. Alma shadows the reality she is in and is in space. I can imagine that this space here is kind of a hub where she can start to go wherever she wants. I'm also not sure if she's doing this on purpose with going back into the hospital or if it comes from her subconsciousness. The whole sequence from shattering the reality to being in the hospital room watching her mother reborn and die is so fascinating. And I have no clue what the meaning could be. But maybe we get an explanation later in the show. Anyways, who is here to help her? Her father then shows up and brought her into the picture Sam painted for her, which makes it possible for her to calm down. This makes sense since Sam could be like something stable in her life, a person she can trust and so on. I think it's interesting that Jacob is the one who brought her some wealth. It shows that he has control. He then says that the accident lifted a curtain which makes it possible for him to communicate with her. The thing is, though, that she saw him before the accident, so couldn't he talk with her before this? He explains what happened to her grandmother and that she has the same ability. He adds that it is like in the indigenous cultures, people who can see visions and that hear voices like shamans and stuff like this. It is fascinating that he speaks about indigenous cultures because she is very interested in this kind of things. We saw this in episode 1 with the little girl and the story she told her. And we saw this when Alma was with her mama, why not? Searching for photos, and her mom told her about the new priest who studied indigenous cultures. So he uses this knowledge to get her to do what he wants. She's unsure, and what is he doing? Let's start again with the loop. She tries to escape and we can see the symbols on the elevator. I don't know every symbol, so if someone knows the name of them, then please let me know in the comments below. I think I only know 4 or 5 symbols, and the symbol which shall be the button for the second floor is the one who works, and I don't know the symbol at all. So it worked with the second floor button, and she's in the cooking show, which we saw in the beginning as she woke up on TV, which is cool. And even here we have the theme of indigenous cultures. The meaning of this could be that everything is kind of a show Jacob produced, and this is just on the base of him being a negative element. She then is in a boat, which we also saw on the TV in the beginning. Just saying. She's at the start of the loop again, and this time she says that she's actually at home and it's 2 weeks from now. And we jump to this time with her. Something happened which made Alma being mad at Sam. We don't know yet what, but I guess we learn this later in the show. Then she comes back into the hospital, and who is here? Of course, Jacob. Is she back because she cannot control it, or did he pull her back? Here he reveals that he caused the accident on purpose. So, the father of the year, I guess. He wants to use her ability to change what happened and that she agrees to help him. After a flashback to the Halloween night in which her father died, the loop starts again. And here are things now different. Her mother wants to start her sentence and Alma interrupts her and tells her that she's sorry for not wearing the seatbelt and that she sometimes only thinks about herself, which is very honest of her. And the most important thing is that she takes responsibility. With her sister, is it the same? Instead of being sarcastic, she's open, and instead of defending herself or thinking that others think only about themselves too, she just asks if she knows that she didn't do this on purpose. And her sister opens up and tells her that she needs her. Now and in the future. After this, she jumps again and her father tells her that she has done a good job. I don't know why this was a good job though. He then continues with that she can choose to tune all of this out and that she can go back to her life she was living, which is of course something she is terrified of. How he repeats the and living it and living it and living it part that feels so manipulative. And while he's saying this, we get a montage of her life, how it could be. And I'm not sure if this is now with her power or how she would imagine this. When he adds to do something different, then wondrous things happen. Maybe it's Jacob playing with her strings, but I don't know. I don't know what Jacob is, if he is himself who wants to change time, if it is some entity, or it could be something in her consciousness, a part of her consciousness. It could also be that she's just crazy. I also have the feeling that Jacob was responsible for his mother to go crazy. Whatever it is, I don't trust Jacob at this point. And since she's still in a coma, I think that every person stands for something in her, or in relation with her consciousness. It is surely no accident that she thought of Sam as a nurse and didn't recognize him, and it seems that every shown scene is important, which is great. I have no idea what will come and how it will end, but it is fascinating and I have so many questions. So, this was my review of episode 2. What did you think about this episode? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. You can follow me on Twitter. You find the link in the description box down below. Thank you for watching. Have a nice one. You take care. Bye.
I'm sorry
For what?
for almost dying.
No, that's fine. I mean, not like, oh, that's fine, you almost died, but like, it's fine. That's cool. I mean, it's not cool, but, it's not like not cool.